Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Daily Action Picks. I'm Joe Dellera, and this is my best bet for the Golden State Warriors versus Memphis Grizzlies Game 4. Look, we know that Ja Morant suffering that knee injury in Game 3, and we're uncertain of his status. He's listed as doubtful, but Coach Taylor Jenkins said that he's very unlikely to play. So considering that, I know there's been a lot of talk about the fact that the Grizzlies are 20-5 this season without Ja Morant in the lineup. However, if we look at this a little bit deeper, we can tell that this is a little bit different of a situation. Obviously, we're in the playoffs and we're playing the Golden State Warriors, but if we look at the Grizzlies' record against playoff teams specifically without Ja Morant, this record goes from 20-5 to 8-4. And although one of those wins was against the Warriors on March 28th, that game didn't have any of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, or Draymond Green. So I don't really think we can take too much of a look into that. Look, the issue here is that Morant is this entire offense. He has a 35.7% usage rate in the playoffs, and he's essentially been the entire offense. He's driving, he's shooting threes, he's averaging 38.3 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 8.3 assists per game in this series. That's just not something that you can really replace here. And one of the issues is we've seen that when Morant's off the floor, it's been limited minutes here, but the Grizzlies have a minus 11.4 point differential per 100 possessions. And even though their defense is strong, they just can't score. They're only scoring 98.3 points per 100. And considering that Morant basically outscored the entire starting lineup in Game 3 besides him, this is going to be a really tough spot for the Grizzlies. I know that they're getting Dillon Brooks back from that suspension, but Desmond Bane's had that back issue, and although he's capable of scoring in bunches, this is a tall task to ask, especially against this Golden State Warriors defense that is going to key in on him. On the flip side, we're looking at the Warriors here, and they went nuclear in Game 3, especially from three-point range. They shot over 53% from three-point range in Game 3. So over the course of the playoffs, the Warriors have been a dominant offensive force. They've scored 121 points per 100 possessions throughout the playoffs, and I get that the Nuggets aren't the best defensive team, but they've still scored 117.2 against the Grizzlies per 100 possessions. And a lot of this has to do with the combination of that death lineup that we're actually getting to see on the floor together. That lineup of Curry, Poole, Klay, Wiggins, and Draymond. And they're a plus 13.7 per 100 possessions, and they're scoring 137.2 points over those 100 possessions. But the thing is, they give up a lot of points on defense, and the key for Golden State, and this is something that we've talked about all season long, is having Steph Curry and Draymond Green on the floor. When those two are on the floor, you can kind of fill in those complementary pieces as you want. And the thing is, when Curry and Draymond share the floor, the Warriors are plus 14.2 in terms of their point differential, scoring 125.5 points per 100 and allowing just 111.3. So they sacrifice a little bit of offense compared to the death lineup, but their defense improves significantly. And this is one of the things that I want to talk about here is in this Warriors dynasty, we always talked about Warriors third quarter. Those are the squads that absolutely wreck. And this is true this season, actually. In 4 home games, the Warriors are 4-0 in the third quarter with a net rating of 27.6. And this goes along with offensive and defensive ratings of 139.2 and 111.6 respectively. So even though the Warriors can deviate from their starting lineups at halftime, a lot of this has to do with the fact that Kerr looks at what's going on in the game and makes adjustments to those rotations. And this oftentimes comes out after halftime, and we're seeing this in the third quarter. So this is a spot that the Warriors either look to jump out to a huge lead, come back from a deficit at halftime, or just put the game away entirely. So look, if Morant's not able to play today, I think the Warriors are going to roll, and we see that's reflected in the double-digit spread. But I think that the Warriors should continue to win this game, and they should actually win moving forward anyway. So I'll back the Warriors in the third quarter, which is what I think is the strongest bet here, and you kind of don't have to deal with that double-digit spread and maybe worry about a backdoor cover. So additionally, on top of that, I'm going to take this series to go 5 games at plus 110 at FanDuel. I think the Warriors are going to be, they're going to win. I think that they're going to win game 4, and then they're going to be up 3-1. They'll be going into a closeout game 5 at least 5-point favorites, especially if John Morant doesn't play. And I'd expect the money line to be at least minus 200. So I think that there's a bit of value at plus 110 on what's essentially a money line parlay over games 4 and 5. So those are my best bets for game 4 of the Warriors versus the Grizzlies in the Western Conference Semifinals. Let me know in the comments if you're riding, if you're following. Hit me up on Twitter or the Action app at Joe Dellera, and tune in every day for more free daily action picks.